Hello and welcome to episode number 51 on the Online Trainers podcast. Today's topic is, are you certain? Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trim. Now, I'm still here in Boise, Idaho, in America. I do not know what I'm doing here still, but I've spent the last 3 days with amazing entrepreneurs around the world, and we've been spending 30 minutes doing a hot seat roundtable with each other, sharing ideas, sharing strategies, failures, growth, development, successes, what's currently working, what's not working. And one big common theme that I've seen in really the people that are successful versus the people that haven't quite got it yet is the level of certainty. And for a long period of time, when I was, online personal training, when I was running my agency, when I was running the gyms, a lot of the times my mind was uncertain. Okay. And within the uncertainty, I would dabble and I would take on opportunities where they presented themselves because I wasn't certain in myself. That means I wasn't certain in my vision, my goals, my dreams. And whilst you might hear this over and over again, that in order to be successful, you need to have a big vision. You need to have big goals. At that time, I didn't have any big vision. I didn't have any big goals. All I wanted to do was I wanted to make more money. And in that point, in not knowing who I was, in not knowing what my values were, in not knowing where I wanted to go, I was led anywhere the world wanted to take me, anywhere that opportunity wanted to take me. And so the game was I was being led by external things. And when you're led by things outside of yourself, I don't know if you've ever been in this place, but you do things and you don't know why you do things, but you keep doing it and then you end up somewhere and you're not happy. And for me, this hit home, and I really want to speak about this, and I really want to talk about more, the mindset on these podcasts, particularly because these are the hardest things in the world. I mean, you can have all the strategies in the world, but if you don't have the certainty, the confidence, the belief systems, the habits, you can't change yourself internally, you're not going to get the external rewards. Okay, which is why I see this so much and why I'm moving this podcast show to really help you overcome these barriers. And of course, we're going to go through strategy, and that's what the group's for. If you're not in the Online Trainers Club group, then you're missing out on a bunch of strategies. But really, these podcasts are really for you to take a step back and have a look at where you are in your life at this moment in time. Because for me, being in this uncertain space of not knowing what I wanted, not knowing what I wanted to create, not knowing what legacy I wanted to leave, filled me up with nothing, right? I was going out there, I was taking on opportunities that I was taking purely because I was asking for more money. And so the world presented to me, and so my eyes opened up to the people around me who were presenting me with opportunities to make more money. But the fact is, that's not what I really wanted. And I want you to take a step back and think inside your business today, because a lot of personal trainers ask for a lot more leads. And if you've been listening to this podcast show, then you might have heard me say, look, if I gave you 100 leads tomorrow, what would your life look like? If I gave you 100 new clients tomorrow, what would your life look like? What would your systems look like? What would your bank account look like? What would your level of freedom look like? What would your level of love look like? What would you feel like? For most personal trainers and for most online coaches, that feeling when you're clouded by your judgment because you're not seeing the bigger picture, because all you're currently seeing what's right in front of you. And the thing that hurts you most right in front of you is the lack of money or the lack of finances. And you think that if you solve that, you're going to solve that bigger picture. But the problem is you're clouded at the moment with this judgment of making more money, and you'll do anything you can to get there. And what I'm trying to tell you today is the people that really make it through, the people that push through the resistance, the people that push through and show up every single day, the people that do that will become successful. But in order for them to do that, they need to be certain in their vision. And over the last year, the transition I've made in my business in terms of income, in terms of freedom, in terms of lifestyle choice, is my ability to be in complete certainty in my vision, in terms of my focus and that belief in myself, to stay the course, to stay focused. Because I know what it's like on the other side. I know what it's like to dabble. I know what it's like to want more money. And when you get there, you probably start to wonder what else is there. And you start to question it. And you start to say to yourself, I don't know what to do now. Now that I've got more clients, now that I've signed up 30 people for my dental agency, now that I've opened a Pilates and physiotherapy studio, now that I've opened gyms, you can do all that. But the fact is, if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, because you're looking at what's right in front of you, you won't be happy. You're not going to be fulfilled. You're not going to go all in. I can share this with you and I can tell you to do things on the podcast, but you're going to be thinking, what is this crazy guy telling me to do? Why is he telling me to do this? Maybe he's got something I don't. And the only thing that I have currently that you might have is the insights into the future, only because I've been there. And trust me, as a personal trainer, starting off in 2007, moving into the online space in 2013, the first thing I thought about was, how do I get more clients so I can live? Because the delusion is that if I go online and I start my online personal training career, I'm going to have more freedom. I'm going to be doing less. I'm going to have more fun. And yet we find ourselves in this struggle of less freedom. We find ourselves caught in trying to find more clients because we don't have more money, right? And the fact is, we're applying a completely different business model when expectations, because here's the truth, we want to see things greener. We think that the grass is greener on the other side. We make ourselves believe it. So imagine this, when you first started out and you first started transitioning online, why? Why did you start doing it? Especially for the people that have been doing it for so long now. You've gotten caught into a trap, because I bet for most personal trainers, the first thing is, I wanted more freedom. I wanted more fun. And yet when you move into it and you haven't created the vision, the systems around that, you haven't planned around that, you haven't got certain about that is what you want, and you never get it. And what you end up with is, you end up with 20 clients a month, and then 10 clients leave, and then you have to constantly refill a bucket with a hole in it. Because you didn't have a vision, you didn't have certainty in the vision, because you didn't actually chase what you were after. And that vision of you leaving your gym, leaving personal training, leaving your studio to go online was to create more freedom. And I'm not saying that you can't do that. I'm saying that you need to have that as your vision. You need to be able to plan and have the systems in place to facilitate that vision, but most don't. And while I'm reflecting here, while I'm recording this podcast, I really have a look around and I see the patterns, and I reflect and I see the people that are absolutely killing it. And it's not that they're any smarter than you are or I am. It's not that they have more resources, probably less than you and I. In some cases, much less, which surprises me, because that throws me off my belief patterns that I need to know more. And here I am, I'm seeing this guy making close to $90 million a year. He knows nothing. And that in itself, when you start to see that, it breaks down your belief patterns, because you start to see the world in a completely different way. You start to say, well, am I believing something that's incorrect, that's holding me back because I'm feeling the need to consume more information to feel certain? Or is that certain born and bred inside of you? And the truth is, the certainty can be found inside of you. You have to do something that you want to do so much. And I know this sounds so cliched. I know it sounds so cliched, so repeated, but that's okay, because today I'm hopefully repeating this or telling you this in a different way that maybe can get through to you. And if that happens, if this changes one person who's listening to this, out of the thousands, this affects one person and makes them change their business model, makes them go all in, and gives them that certainty and permission to go, right, I'm going to go look for my freedom. I'm going to go build legacy. I'm not going to stick on with this crap business model because I want to do more. I wanted to grow freedom, and now my goal is to have this freedom. But the key missing piece here is that certainty in yourself. And if you're not certain, what's going to happen is you're going to start looking around at other personal trainers' business models. You're going to have a look around at what they're doing with their niche. And I bet you, because in the previous podcast episode, I talked about the grass is greener on the other side, and you're going to dabble because you're going to have a look at what somebody else, what Simone, what Sam did, what John did in the dad's niche, in the mum's niche, and how she signed up 50 clients at $1,000, and you're going to be like, holy shit, I should be doing that, because you're not certain in yourself to be able to fulfill your legacy. But let me tell you something. There is more than enough money in this world if you are great at what you do, okay? So I'm going to tell you something. The market is saturated with personal trainers. But the way I see it, and the way you should be seeing it today, especially if you look inside groups, forums, right? If I look at the content, They're all doing the same thing. They're all mid-level. And you just have to be a little bit better than they are to reap all the rewards, you know? So today I really want you to reflect on your level of certainty, because it's not the strategies, it's not the blueprints. You see, the experts will want to make you believe it. The internet marketers will want to make you that their blueprint is going to help you get successful, because that's what you want, because that's going to solve your pain. And your pain for most trainers is trying to get more clients, trying to make more money. But if you can see past that pain and stop looking at your feet when you're trying to walk to your destination, because that's what most people do. Your clients are doing that and you're doing that, right? You're looking down at your feet when you're trying to go to a particular location, and you'll never get there because you're only looking at the next step. And if you really want to succeed, you should have complete certainty for that end goal, that end vision that you want to chase. And today and moving forward, really, I want to hit this because it became so clear to me that I shouldn't be giving you more strategies. I should be giving you more empowerment and more certainty to take control of your life, because that's the best thing that I can do to serve you. That's the best thing that changed me from dabbling, opening, spending countless of hours, equity, sweat, and money, driving out every single day to a Pilates clinic and studio that I had no passion in. Didn't end up making money because I was not passionate about it, right? The gyms did not make money because I was not passionate about it. And the initial thought was, I'm going to make money from this, and yet that does not happen. And so when I reflect and I have a look at what's completely changed and what's shifted, is I've stopped saying yes to things that I'm not completely passionate about. I've started saying no. I've started resisting the urge. I've started focusing. I've started delaying the gratification. Because in this world, how many of us want that quick fix, that instant gratification? The person who can delay that the longest will win. Because if you can delay your need for that money now, that quick fix, and restructure your business model so that you've got a proper vision and a vehicle to take you to where you want to be, you're going to win. And you can add more value in the marketplace than any other person, because you understand that the rewards aren't coming now, but they'll come in a month. They'll come in 3 months. If you can wait 2 years, then you will win, as long as you adapt and you keep adding value. And so that's my message for you today, is really your number one task. The number one task I want you to take today is really reevaluate the level of certainty you have. If it's something that you fear jumping on and spreading your message, especially in this marketplace, question that. If it's something where I say, right, hey, go and do a Facebook Live on your particular topic, question that. And the truth is, at the end of the day, this game isn't for everybody, because you need to find your strengths. If your strengths isn't about preaching that message, then you might just be the best operations person and supportive person, and go find someone else where you can be the strategy behind their brand, if that's the case. But if you are that person, right? If you are that strategist person behind somebody else's brand, there is no shame in that, but the only good will come. Because now you're not pushing an uphill battle, and now you're working towards your strengths, and that is very smart. That is why I'd recommend you to take your DISC profile. Head over to Tony Robbins and check out the DISC profile to understand what your strengths are. But if you've got a message and you're passionate about that and you're deep about that, and the thought of you going, well, I'm okay on Facebook Live, but I just don't have the strategies. Cool. Keep listening, keep tuning in, and keep taking action. And you, if you're that person, then you really need to have a look at yourself today, your business today, and have a look at, well, what's going to happen in a year? Get clear on that. Have certainty, because what you're certain about will come true. If you're certain you're going to affect 1,000 people, and you make it your goal every morning to open your book and go, I'm going to help 1,000 people in the next year, you will make that happen, because your mind will start looking for things. Your mind will start searching for opportunities, right? On Facebook. Because you're so certain on that vision and zoned in on that goal, your mind will start presenting to you opportunities you never saw before, not because they weren't there, but because you weren't aware. Okay? Your brain is fantastic, but you need to get clear and you need to get certain on what you want, because here's the truth. If you don't get certain, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle like some people I've seen today inside the mastermind. And the key differentiator between these two groups of people, certainty and vision. And if you can add that into your arsenal and your toolkit and take some time and reflect and pause, because we live in such a reactive environment, and really sit back and reassess your life, your business. What do you want your life to be? What do you want your business to be? The times are changing. And I'm telling you this because the change in the next 5 years is going to be greater than the change in the last 30 years due to the exponential growth in technology and the shifts that we're making. But change is great. Change for most people, probably bad. Change for taxi drivers were bad as Uber came in. But as the taxi industry got wiped out, millions of people got new jobs. So it depends which side of the coin you're on. And it depends whether you'll take it as an opportunity or depends if you look at it in a negative light. If you look at it in a negative light, you will never win. So that's my message for you today, is really to look at your life and plan what you want to do, because nobody's going to plan your life for you, okay? And really reassess where your strengths are. Are you that person that's willing to go out and spread the message? Or are you ready to take a step back and go, look, I'm the strategist, but I'm not that person. I'm not that leader. And go and find that leader and empower them and work together and accept that. That is all. And I really hope this has helped you, because this is the epiphany I made. And I really wanted to share this with you only because the goal for me is to help you grow your business and help you affect more people. Help you, the person, the trainer that's going to build legacy, that doesn't have the tools, mindset, or the strategies, but you have a great message. You can impact thousands of people. I want to help you. Because it's not about getting more clients because you're feeding the wrong business model. Pose yourself this question today. If I gave you 100 clients tomorrow, what would your life look like? Would you like it? Would you enjoy it? Would you hate it? If the answer is yes, Lynn, I would hate it, then you need to start rebuilding your business model. You need to find a thing and a business model that suits what you want to do and why you got into the online space in the first place. Because I'm hearing more things about, I want to get into online personal training to free up more time to make passive income. And the reality is online personal training is 10 times harder than offline to make money. But yet the potential is 1,000,000 times greater. And so I want that to stick with you today, because my role in this is to empower you and to give you the tools, knowledge, and the strategy, but also the community where you can go, I want something more. So have a fantastic day, and I'll see you on the next podcast episode. All right. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes, and feel free to leave a review. In that way, I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks, and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients, and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.